First thing, mate, can you just turn around for a sec? Just turn around. I just wanted to see the target on your bat for this season because it is silly. You keep winning more trophies. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I think it's been on the back for the last couple of years. I keep saying it and reiterating it. The thing about university rugby, what makes Bucks so special, is that a group leaves and a whole new group come in, and it's about them. It's about the existing girls that have been there to really get them to buy into that. But it's that fresh blood and that drive that actually, if I ask how many people in the room have won a Bucks championship, only half of them can put their hands up. So then there's half of the room that want to go and do that. So I think it's important that we can lean on that. And yeah, there'll be a target on our backs, but we kind of try and relish that and see what we can do this year.
What else? Something else we have as well is a fresh start. Bucks Super Rugby. Now, what generally tends to happen is a new tournament arrives, Hartpury win it. Women's National League, first season, Hartpury win it. Going back to Bucks Super Rugby when that was launched on the men's side. Didn't take long, Hartpury win it. University teams decide to have a go in the National Leagues. Hartpury rocket up to the championship. So is this just going to be another trophy with red and black ribbons on it come the end of the year?
I think I sat in this place this time last year with Burnsy. The thing was, the goal was not to win Bucks last year, although that was the product of what happened. We try not to focus too much on that outcome. The outcome for us is basically trying to create the best environment for these girls possible to thrive. And we're doing so, like I said to you before we came on camera, we've now got 24 girls training in PWR. We've got 8 girls away with WXV squads. Like, that is almost as much of a win for us as it is winning the trophy. I think we want to grow the women's game. We want to get as many girls playing rugby both professionally and in the amateur space. That's our overall goal. If winning Bucks is a product of that, and that's something that the girls really want to get after, then we can look at that, and that can happen as a product of it.
Would you say you're victims of your own success? Because we spoke at various times last season and you talk me through some of the numbers like you've just described there. We'd love to pick this player, but they're with Gloucester Hartpury. We'd love to pick this player, but they're with an under-20s or an under-18s team. I mean, it's amazing opportunities for these players to reach their potential. But for you as a coach and for a group, just to put a really competitive team out every Wednesday must be really, really tough at times.
Yeah, I think we used over 50 players last year in our first team. So, but then that's the job of a pathway, and it's something that obviously we talk about a lot with Gloucester Hartpury, with the university, with the under-18s program, that you have to constantly keep evolving that, and you can't sit still, and the pathway has to grow, and the numbers and the players that you get into the pathway, the strength you get into the pathway then allows that knock-on effect to come through. Rather than looking externally, we can start to look internally for these players. And it's great for a lot of the girls that did, look at a Steph Else that played Gloucester Hartpury this year, got herself a transition contract of England, is in WXV camp. Like, that is a great product of what a pathway can do. But then there's another Steph Else coming in first year, and then hopefully they come through that journey. So we've got to make sure that we're strong across our pathway, not only with strength but depth as well, to allow that knock-on effect.
What about those young, I mean, they're all young players because it's university rugby, but those really young players, those college age players who were given massive opportunities at the back end of last season in a final and grabbed it with both hands, won a trophy, and then got selected for under-18s national teams. You must be quite proud of that and what they achieved at that time of the year.
For the young ones, again, that's very much that the attitude that those girls had is credit to Ollie Wilson and the work he's done with them. One of the big things that we chased after last year as a group was resilience. That was our big key theme going through the year. We're chasing something slightly different this year. I won't tell you what it is, but you might find out. You might find out later on in the year. But resilience was the big thing, and I think I argue that second half of rugby from Hartpury probably wasn't that pretty. Loughborough came out and they played all the rugby, but really it was about resilience. How much can you get off the floor and keep tackling and keep going? And I think I've watched Sophie Davis's tackle 30, 40 times now, and it gets better and better. But that was the ultimate pinnacle of resilience for that team, and just that never die attitude. And we built that throughout the year in the games, but that second half was great. Okay, we didn't play the best rugby, but it showed everything we've worked on that year in terms of character. And it's those young ones that are now coming up and discovering that resilience. And at university, no one's telling you to get up at a certain time. No one's waking you up. No one's telling you to have breakfast. No one's telling you what time to go to bed. That's the kind of stuff that these younger players now have to understand, their time management and how do they manage training and university and eating properly. That kind of stuff now comes into their diaries. And yes, we'll get after the resilience piece, but they've got a real time management piece to balance as well.
Well, if you're not going to tell us the objectives, tell us about the challenges. What are they this season, and are they different to previous seasons?
Every squad in this league is getting stronger and stronger. And I look at some of the teams we played last year, and they've only got stronger again. And that's our job to keep up with them. It's, you know, I often say that if we finished at the top of the mountain last year, we're all starting at the bottom again this year. So it's who's going to win that journey to the top, and we're all on level playing field, and there's some fantastic squads out there. And really, as someone that has such a vested interest in the women's game, we want the best possible spectacle week in, week out, and we want to see different teams beating different teams, because that's what makes it exciting. And then you go into a playoff where anyone could win that trophy. And look, we don't want someone that just sits above the pack all the time, because it doesn't necessarily make for the best growth of the game. So I think some of the work, some of the other clubs and the buy-in that they've had from potentially PWR clubs or Celtic Challenge clubs, that is what's helping those squads grow. And then really the level of rugby that's played this year should be better again than last year, and that should be closer and tighter and make for a good spectacle, because that's what we all want in this league.
Do you think the fact that it's been rebranded then, though, and it is Bucks Super Rugby now, and we've seen the effect that that's had on the men's game, do you think it can assist this amazing trajectory that University Women's Rugby is already on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Super Rugby brand in general is something that has probably in the last couple of years come quite on the spectrum now for the men's game. I think more clubs are looking at what players can they find within the BSR. Hopefully that's similar with the women's game. There'll be players getting picked up from clubs hopefully that don't have good, so your Durhams and potentially that kind of people, your Edinburghs, that people might get picked up for PWR through there, which we're starting to see already. Hopefully the Super Rugby brand and the media and the coverage that comes behind that helps accelerate the growth, and people understand that actually this level of rugby for the 18 to 23, 24-year-old age bracket is the best out there that they can find to develop, because to get better you've got to play. You can't just be holding a bag all season. You've got to play rugby to get better, and there's no better place to play than within this league. So hopefully that branding and everything around it now accelerates that, and we get that growth that we're all after.
Finally then, who is the best team in Bucks Super Rugby Women?
It depends what you want to base it off.
I want you to tell me the best team in Bucks Super Rugby Women's. I can't believe it's taken you this long to say Hartpury.
Yep. Yeah, but you don't want to say your own. You don't want to say your own team. I think we run a very, very good program. I've got a great group of girls. I'll back them to the end of the world. Hartpury would be my obvious answer, but there's 3 or 4 teams in there this year that are going to really step their game, I think.
Who's the second best?
Loughborough.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hartpury twos. Good luck this season, mate. It's going to be amazing.
Cheers, thank you.